Hi, folks. Today's episode is brought to you by one of my favorite sponsors. Are we live?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, great. It's election day, ladies and gentlemen. Are you feeling a little anxious? Well, that's perfect. Well, it's not perfect, actually, but it's a perfect use case for your Sunset Lake Seder. You can find it at sunsetlakesebede.com. Use the code LEFTISBEST. You'll get 20% off. You get 20% off smokables, pre-rolls, keef. You get 20% off of tinctures to help you relax, tinctures to help you go to sleep, tinctures with a little THC that will help you have fun. You can have Sebede infused fudge and Sebede infused coffee. You can have, you can use some of their lotions and their salves, all with Sebede grown in the beautiful Vermont sunshine without any pesticides. That's right. They use integrated pest management, which means that they grow a bunch of different crops that counteract pest stuff. I don't know. Also, regenerative farming practices that they built in conjunction with the University of Vermont. And on top of it all, these guys are great movement partners. They have donated tens of thousands of dollars to things like strike relief funds, carceral reform, Planned Parenthood, refugee resettlement. They've engaged in mutual aid up in Vermont in the wake of the floods. Just an all-around great company, all-around great product, and all-around great deal. 20% off with the coupon code LEFTISBEST. Check it out. And now, time for the show.
The Majority Report with Sam Seder.
The destiny of America is always safer in the hands of the people than in the conference rooms of any elite.
Sam Seder.
They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred.
We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
The Majority Report with Sam Seder.
Ever get the feeling you've been cheated?
It is Tuesday, November 4, 2025. My name is Sam Seder. This is the five-time award-winning Majority Report. We are broadcasting live steps from the industrially ravaged Gowanus Canal in the heartland of America, downtown Brooklyn, USA. On the program today, from the Hasan Piker Show? What is the name of the show? Hasan Piker will be here. Also on the program today, Election Day. Woo! It is the first of Trump's second term. Big races in Virginia and New Jersey for the governorship. Key referendums in Maine, California, other states. And there's a significant mayor's race in New York City. It's not only going to have material implications for the city, but could very well provide a narrative for how Democrats can win across the country.
Minneapolis, too. Omar Fateh.
That's right. Meanwhile, disgraced, uncharged war criminal Dick Cheney, dead at age Nosferatu. Some Senate Dems are hinting at caving as the shutdown becomes longest ever and exceedingly painful for a lot of people, including Donald Trump. SNAP benefits, most particularly, will restart, but only at half the amount that beneficiaries have been getting, and it will also be delayed. U.S. manufacturing shrinks for the 8th month. U.S. proposes a UN-mandated international force for Gaza. Trump sued on its regime's restrictions on student loan forgiveness. Tucker, Fuentes, and Heritage They're in turmoil on the right because of their love of groypers. Lastly, Israel arrests leaker of a video showing Israeli soldiers raping a Palestinian hostage detainee. All this and more on today's Majority Report. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is
Newsday Tuesday, but most importantly, it's Election Day.
It's Election Day. And we're going to have a guest in studio in just moments.
Yes, very exciting.
We found out that Dick Cheney died. He needed a couple of minutes to get himself together. He was
Couldn't
very
find
upset.
my kazoo anywhere.
He was very upset. Honestly, look, I think folks know my policy around here when someone passes away. I think it is, obviously I only know Dick Cheney through his role as vice president and as a congressman and as a senator. It is a real shame that he passed away not in a jail cell and not having to have had to account for the absolute horrors he's brought on directly for literally hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million Iraqis. And obviously, U.S. military personnel who lost their lives in a complete lie of a war. He also is, in many respects, responsible not just for the Republican Party and the direction it took that brought us Donald Trump, but he was also more sort of directly involved in the unitary executive theory, which has empowered Donald Trump, has eviscerated Congress's role in curtailing our military adventures, as it were. I don't think it is hard to find one individual who is more responsible for the worst of America over the course of the past, let's say, 35 years. I mean, there's challengers.
Well, good thing that the Democrats didn't try to rehabilitate his image in the last presidential election for some reason.
Run around with their daughter to save democracy.
To no effect, to actually negative effects. Oh, wait, that actually happened.
Anybody who remembered Dick Cheney, which was about at least half the electorate and directly, and then others who were even remotely aware of him would have known he was a bad person.
Yeah.
He was a bad person.
And the Trump crypto, grifting off the government and the lack of accountability on that open corruption. I mean, I think you can trace it to Dick Cheney as well, where he was basically indirectly profiting with his continued stake in Halliburton throughout his vice presidency as we were waging an illegal war in Iraq.
The entire project for New American Century, which he was a big part of back in 1991, ended up bringing about just horrors untold. And here he is telling one of the lies that he told to the American public. Now, just a reminder, we couldn't find this clip for whatever reason. It's not as dramatic because he's not lying directly into your face. He's lying
at a lectern.
See, here, this clip is more powerful because you see both his eyes as he's lying to you. When he was on Meet the Press, it's shot from the side, so you really only get one eye. And on Meet the Press, the famous sort of ultimate lie that he told was he had Scooter Libby, his chief of staff, leak false information to Judy Miller. She was so eager to hoover it up. Judy Miller was a reporter at the New York Times, and they leaked fake information that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. Now, we know it's fake because Saddam Hussein did not have these weapons. So the information they had was fake. And he would visit the Pentagon. He was pushing for this type of information. They did it all in a bureaucratic way. And because, all sorts of raw information comes in and then it is assessed. And what they did is they decided not to have any of the information assessed. And they just took the raw information. Incidentally, that's how basically the entire Republican Party functions now, to be clear. And Scooter Libby gave the information to Judith Miller. And then Dick Cheney, to sell the war to Americans, goes on Meet the Press at a time when we barely had an internet. People got their news from Meet the Press at the time. I know this sounds insane, but it's true. And he went on there and he said, they asked, what evidence do you have of the weapons of mass destruction? And then he quotes the New York Times, which, of course, he was the source for the New York Times.
People are saying.
But here he is. And I want you to pay attention to the word, I think it is, we know. You cannot know something if it's untrue. I cannot know that the moon is square because it's clearly not. But if I say I know the moon is square and that we know the moon is square and you don't have any other information, that's called a lie.
Simply stated, there is no doubt that Saddam Hussein now has weapons of mass destruction. There is no doubt that he is amassing them to use against our friends, against our allies, and against us. And there is no doubt that his aggressive regional ambitions will lead him into future confrontations with his neighbors, confrontations that will involve both the weapons he has today and the ones he will continue to develop with his oil wealth.
I don't know what else to say about him, frankly. But Galactic Nurse Boogs says the movie Vice, a comedy about Cheney, is so good. Christian Bale is a douche, but the movie is so good. I saw that a screening with was it McKay who made that?
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, I did not enjoy the movie. I think that there was too much of an effort to humanize Cheney in this, and I'm sorry. It might be interesting 70 years down the road to see sort of like a psychodrama, why did Hitler do the things he did? And maybe his mom was mean to him or something, but I'm sorry. I feel like it diminished the absolute horror that Dick Cheney unleashed on this country in many respects, and obviously directly on hundreds of thousands of innocent Iraqis.
Well, we've been talking about how the war on terror has been brought home, and ICE is a creation of the war on terror. I know people act like abolishing ICE is this crazy radical position, but it didn't exist prior to 9/11. Basically the torture that we are now engaging in and the horrific conditions that we put immigrants in, Dick Cheney and the torture regime under Bush was responsible for that abroad. It's bringing the war on terror here. And the only thing I can say is that, unfortunately, it seems like there's probably no waterboarding in hell, right? Because they just don't have the material for waterboarding, I would guess. They can work on something else, right?
Fireboarding.
Fireboarding. Lava boarding.
I mean, he's inert now. He's dirt, Dick Cheney. And it's... Yeah, and you said, Sam, and as Will Miniker said, it's a shame that he never faced any sort of accountability in his life.
Now, should have been in The Hague.
As upset I am about that, I will say I did actually pull a hamstring this morning dancing on the show. So, first a word from our sponsors, and then in studio, we've got to clear stuff out to make room. Hasan Piker will be here. And I mean, we'll deal with the denouncing that we have to do in a bit. Today's sponsor, Delete Me, makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. And of course, there's a lot of lunatics out there. You want to keep your personal information safe. I've been using Delete Me for at least 10 years, way before they became a sponsor. It's a great service. It scrubs you from these data brokers. And really, like, even if you're not somebody who, for me, obviously the primary use case for Delete Me is I don't want to be doxxed easily. I mean, obviously, some stuff, you know, I don't know if somebody works at the DMV, I suppose it's possible, but I don't want to be doxxed. And but the other issue is that you have phishers, Phishers, who will buy information on the dark web about you and then couple it with stuff they can get from data brokers for a couple of bucks and use it to both steal your identity, to send you links, to email you in such a way that it makes it sound like they know you, whatever it is. Delete Me does all the hard work of wiping you and your family's personal information from data broker websites. Delete Me knows your privacy is worth protecting. You sign up, you provide Delete Me with exactly what information you want deleted. Their experts take it from there. And this is the best part about Delete Me. They send you every a month or regularly based upon how long they've scrubbed it, personalized privacy reports that show you what they found, where they found it, and what they removed. So Delete Me is not a one-time service. It just continues to do it because those media broker site or those information broker sites, they repopulate. So Delete Me is constantly working, constantly monitoring the internet, and constantly removing your stuff. I want to thanks to Delete Me for sponsoring the program and, frankly, for their product that I've used for quite a while. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. You get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to this website, joindeleteme.com/majority. Use the promo code majority at checkout. The only way to get 20% off, go to joindeleteme.com/majority. Enter the code majority at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/majority. Code is majority. Quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking to Hasan Piker. We are back. Sam Seder, Emma Vigeland on the Majority Report. Before we introduce our next guest, we need to play this video.
America deserved 9/11, dude.
That's Zoran's buddy, Hasan Piker, saying we deserve 9/11. It's a disgrace to every life lost. Zoran went on Piker's show, and now Piker was just spotted at Zoran's event. Mamdani is wrong for New York. Paid for by 4R City.
America.
We are back.
Did you know?
We are back, and I just want to introduce our first guest by saying I condemn him.
Disavow.
Disavow.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. And Hasan Piker, not welcome here.
Yeah, I snuck in, like I snuck into the Zoran event.
Yes.
I just keep finding myself sneaking into these like high-profile events.
I'd say infiltrated.
Yeah.
Infiltrated.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what's scarier.
Intifada, obviously, to do enchiladas.
I mean, part of the problem is we're just too afraid to say get out.
Yeah.
And so now we're all
I
just
just
here.
come in and muscle my way through
we're
the
all
door.
just looking around
Muslim
at
your way through
everybody.
the door.
Yeah.
Going,
I've been doing a lot of tequila. That's what it is. I just like I keep lying to people about my secret woke anti-white jihad that I want to do. And everyone's always like, "Oh, you're just like a Twitch streamer," but it's like secretly I have, I have
we're on
these
air,
ambitions.
right?
Oh no! This is gonna be in the next Michael Bloomberg $7 million attack ad. He's
Exactly.
Gonna be like, Hasan Piker, scary Muslim. He does woke Sharia.
What is the next election? Do you think that you're going to be used in? I mean, this is if it doesn't work in this one, I just don't know which one it's going to work in.
I don't think they're gonna drop it. I've been talking to a lot of politicians and insiders on the Democratic side about this stuff, and even some members of the media as well. And there are people are just like kind of shocked that this has been like a primary focus of the Cuomo campaign, because like it's so confusing to everyone.
It's so confusing.
I have yet to be stopped in the street to be like, "You're the guy. You're the terrorist guy. You did 9/11." No one has tied me to 9/11 yet.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. And then I want to move on to stuff that's more contemporaneous. But did you use a hologram to take down the building? Like, how exactly? Steel does not melt.
Yeah, jet fuel does not melt steel beams.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we're
so
back
what did you
on that,
do?
too.
Well, I just wanted to find out, like, how did you do this?
Yeah. I was a very impressive 10-year-old.
There you go.
A lot of people said, like, I was cranking 90s Fortnite style on my flight simulator. And I was just I was able to do all of it at the age of 10 from Turkey.
I'll tell you something. I don't know if you saw the movie War Games with Matthew Broderick, but almost the same thing happened in that too.
I did not see that movie.
Accidentally almost started.
I did not
off,
see that movie because I was too busy planning out another 9/11.
He was on a computer. He almost started World War III because of it.
And
it's
Zoran was
similar
what,
story.
like 9, right?
Yeah,
During 9/11,
me-
so that's
me
what we
and him
call
are
a
the same
sleeper
age,
cell.
yeah.
Sleeper
You
cell.
guys were 9 and 11?
Yeah. Exactly. What did we know?
Numerology, baby.
And I think it almost feels like they just kind of gave up on like attacking Zoran, but they did want to like appease their big ticket billionaire Zionist donors, and they were like, what's the next best thing that we can just like unload $3.5 million, because that's what you just watched. Michael Bloomberg came in at the last second and was like, we haven't hit this Hasan guy hard enough, and that PAC put that out, and they're like, I'm getting text messages from my friends that live out here.
Electile Dysfunction says the Knicks game was more Hasan commercials than actual play.
Yeah, no, they like in between like Capital One, you just have like, this guy is the architect of 9/11, like, which is crazy. I think it's gonna go away eventually. I don't know. I don't think anybody.
Isn't it nuts that they use like that? They blew all their money on that, but then they do AI ads, which is like probably they're cheaping out on getting actual artists to participate in their ads.
Yeah, they should get real artists to portray me as doing 9/11.
Exactly.
That's what I think as well. I agree.
That's the leftist position.
Good input, Emma.
Yeah, pay some. Yeah,
Use
commission
union labor.
commission some real artists.
I couldn't hear you.
Commission some real artists to do the real work instead of these.
It is interesting though that they are desperate to try and find. I mean, if they continue on with this with you, like try and use you as some type of boogeyman down the future, they're gonna have to like. They're going to have to mainstream. Like what they really should do is finance like a cable television for you so that you're across a bunch of different platforms.
Yeah.
Then go back and demonize, because the 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds and 70-year-olds they're trying to communicate to, just, they don't
I want to find the
get
one
what
guy.
they're talking about. Why are they... Like they're, I mean, I can only imagine like if my father saw this ad and be like, what's that? The guy, I don't get it. The guy's in his room and he's what?
Yeah, the room
Like,
where it all happened.
They don't understand.
Yeah. It's, I think it's like, it's interesting because like it doesn't really work in the same way for someone like myself, because it's not like my views are hidden. Whereas, like, I think they're trying to maybe isolate me as like a Nick Fuentes style individual, but on the left this time, like a radical leftist. But like, my most radical positions are like things that the overwhelming majority of Americans want or would be good overall. So it's not like something that I need to shelter.
He wants you all to have health care that doesn't
Exactly.
bankrupt
So
you.
it's like my most radical positions are like Medicare for all, you know what I mean?
Right.
So and also an end to like all the militarism around the world. And these are positions that are objectively very popular with the American population, as opposed to just like what the white nationalist flank of the Republican Party, like what they want to do is just like mass deportations of anyone that isn't like pure enough in their genetics.
Well, hasn't it been kind of revealing? I mean, that what I have enjoyed about this race is not the Islamophobia, but the fact that so many Democrats are showing their ass on this, and there's hopefully a reckoning of the bigotry within the party here. Like, Cuomo delayed, but Cuomo's saying the other day that multiculturalism, or what do you say, diversity doesn't necessarily
Can be a
mean that
weakness,
this is
too.
a-
Can be a
weakness, too.
Yeah.
Like that's Zionism distilled, and that's the kind of thinking that needs to get out of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
The idea that like other races or ethnicities of people need to be separated for safety purposes. The fact that that's even an existing viewpoint in the party, I mean, it's emblematic in Zionism, but that's part of what we need to move past.
And just white nationalism in this country.
But Democrats believe that, right?
no, I
and they
mean-
don't think about it in the same terms as white nationalism.
supremacy.
When they
He-
think about,
he
Zionism.
simply wanted to secure an existence for Italian children. That's what it is. That's like, what's wrong with that? You know, I don't want my neighbors in New York to be speaking different languages in New York.
Do you
which
believe
is like,
that Little Italy has a right to exist, Hasan?
No, abolish Little Italy. We're taking it out. That's my position. I'm the anti-Italian ticket. Me and Zoran Mamdani, best friends, by the way, for sure.
From the Lafayette
Yeah.
to the Grand.
It has been pretty crazy because like they've been so ruthless about the way that they've been attacking this guy and so overtly racist about it. Like, yeah, I'm just one dude. I don't know why they like present me as some sort of like secretive leftist kingmaker,
I
because
think
I'm not.
No, I honestly think you hit on it. Like the thing that and this will give us a chance a little bit to segue to something a little bit broader, but the Cuomo campaign at one point, and I feel like it was probably like 2 months ago, when it became clear that Sliwa was not going to drop out.
Yeah.
And that it was so hard to get Adams out because somebody preempted Adams dropping out when they leaked. Somebody interceded. I don't know who it is, but some entity interceded and reported that Adams was getting offered something. So Adams had to back off for a couple of weeks because it would have been too bad of a look to come out right at that time. And it slowed the whole roll. And then it turned out Sliwa was not going to drop out. The Cuomo campaign, the barnacles on the big ship Cuomo, the consultants who like see this as an opportunity to soak Bloomberg and Ackman and all this dumb billionaire money. I think like you provide them, you were like, we can dump a bunch of money into this Hasan thing and make it look like we're doing something. Here,
Paul Bless tweeted this out on October 16th. Why is Cuomo doing this? Who is telling him to talk about Hasan Piker 3 weeks before an election in which he's down 20? And I said I surmised what Hasan sort of said. More and more money consumes democracy. Answer will be an obsessed donor.
Yeah. And it could be, I do have many enemies that are very powerful. So it could be any number of different people. Like Elon Musk spent the week after Charlie Kirk's assassination talking about me and, putting the crosshair on me. So it could be one of those guys. There's plenty of people on the Zionist mega donor side that have, they've presented me as like this guy who is,
but it doesn't. But here's
their
the thing.
nephews and nieces.
It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't end up hurting you. I mean, obviously, you don't want to be walking down the airport and people, start, yelling like, "Oh my God!" Like he's watch him. He's a terrorist. But what this is so indicative of is that sort of cohort of Democratic politicians, like that world, is such a money soak.
Yeah.
And it is like you are sending, one of these consultants' kids to college. You know, just like on this, just on this campaign, maybe 2 or 3 kids to college. And so, but it's indicative of like so much of what we see and why, because we do have a situation now, like I think a good 25% of the vote for Mamdani is a function of Andrew Cuomo is just a disgusting human being. Period. Like and like this is the best they could do is they come up with Cuomo in this instance.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party of this ilk is bereft. I mean, listen, Janet Mills is not Andrew Cuomo, but if I wanted to, win in Maine, I wouldn't put up a 70 or 8-year-old politician, particularly now. Like there has never been more sensitivity. Nancy Pelosi is even seeing the writing on the wall. I mean, I know this is hard for people. I read in the post that we're all having to brace for her retirement.
I've been bracing.
But this is like indicative of, I think, an interesting thing that's happening in the Democratic Party is that there's a cleave that is happening on some level, but at the extremes.
It's good though that they are exceptionally weak right now, because I think for the longest time they were able to successfully convince the broader liberal base that electability meant moderate positions, civility politics, and institutionally calcified, sometimes literally calcified figureheads that are stuck to these chairs at the age of like 80. And this was a moment where it was a crowded primary. It almost reminds me of AOC's initial victory. Like those are the opportunities to pounce, I think, when the Democrats just think that they're comfortable in a seat and assume that there's not going to be like a left flank opposition, or there's no viability to such a left flank opposition. Because when they do actually realize that we are forcibly making the party more effective and more electable, that's when they start. That's when they start doing the 2016 Bernie stuff, right? Like aggressively coming after their left flank. So even with the Graham Plattner stuff, regardless of whether you like him or hate him, one thing that I think is indisputable here is the fact that the electability arguments that previously successfully convinced a lot of older voters, a lot of voters in the heart of the liberal base to vote for the establishment pick is no longer working because they've seen all of the defeats over and over again, especially with Trump, because that's a uniquely embarrassing defeat twice, right? 3 times if you think the election was, stolen.
Good question. Good question.
But basically now they're actually saying, no, I think the populist candidates are the electable ones. That's what I'm hearing, and that's what I'm seeing from average voters. That's what I'm seeing from the polls that I'm looking at, where they're like, I don't care whatever argument you're making on CNN or MSNBC. A guy that comes out and says, I don't like Israel. Israel's doing a genocide. I want Medicare for all. I like that guy. I think that guy is electable in a place like Maine. Yeah. And I think it's that's the reason why we see so much panic, something you pointed out as well, so much panic around the third way neoliberal guys who are just constantly recirculating the same exact studies and think pieces over and over again to be like, the true centrism hasn't been tried actually. Like what we need to do is do exactly the same thing that Kamala Harris did.
I mean, the panic, I was on MSNBC on Sunday and I have never gotten the amount of pushback that I did in I was taken aback about basically saying that the centrist wing of the party was losing ground and losing credibility with the voting base, because they feel it too, right? I mean, there's just the voting base is saying, we don't believe you. You've told us over and over again that, hey, maybe Bernie Sanders' ideas sound good and exciting to you, but the most important thing is defeating Donald Trump. Now, losing to him again means, well, maybe the thing that I was drawn to initially was always the right thing to do. And that's, I think, part of why the base is being radicalized. It's a threat to them. And, of course, the Gaza genocide, too.
I'll be honest. I think the average Democrat, and I'm being super sincere when I say this, the average Democratic Party voter hates the Republicans as much as we do, and it's far more hatred than the average Democratic politician has for the Republicans in general. That's the major division.
This
here.
has been honestly this has been a multiple decades long story. And it was happening in the aughts. We just danced over Dick Cheney's grave, and there was. Even during that era, there was this notion of just a complete lack of awareness of, and this is, the middle of the aughts is 10 years out from Newt Gingrich, who basically introduced this movement conservatism, which is really just means we're going to basically use an underlying amount of racism and then just drive a lot of basically bullshit and hatred, essentially to get our tax cuts and to destroy government. That's been the recipe. And the only thing that's changed in the past 20 years is that the balance between the people who thought they were basically leveraging that stuff and the people who actually believed it and were leveraging it in the party just shifted. And it happened, during the Tea Party era when Eric Cantor got voted out. Was we've been cosplaying on some level. Eric Cantor's well, I'm racist, but I don't really care that. I don't really care that much. And I was just doing it to basically get a corporate sinecure. And then those people took over, and the whole party is that way for the most part now.
Yeah.
And I think, broadly speaking, this shutdown is indicative of that part of that same sort of dynamic, which is there's two different things that operate simultaneously. The partisanship, which is distinct from an ideology, right? The one thing is we're in a fight against these people. What's the best strategy to make our side win? That's the partisanship. Then the other is the ideology within the context of the Democratic Party. But the problem they also have is, and they'll shift. I noticed this with my debate with Ezra Klein. They will shift from electability to
governance.
To governance seamlessly, but now they're losing on both ends.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the funny thing that I've at least noticed, and I know we're probably going to talk about this because you briefly alluded to it in the intro, is also the sincerity in which a lot of the base of the Republican Party are just openly white supremacists now, as opposed to just kind of using it as a wedge issue. Where you're seeing on the one hand, Dinesh D'Souza being how did we get so racist? And it's brother, have you seen your son-in-law married to your daughter? He is advancing the anti-Indian hatred on the Republican Party side. And, they're
did
talking...
you see what you did with Obama?
Did you see who you dated, Ann Coulter?
Right. Yeah, there's that. Right? and also... On the other hand, you have this massive fissure now within the Heritage Foundation coming out and being we like Tucker and we like Pat Buchanan, but we don't like Nick Fuentes. Or we should still talk to Nick Fuentes, where they're trying to massage this idea of being, overtly anti-Semitic and being comfortable with overt anti-Semitism. And the question always is if you're galvanizing force at the heart of your ideology, at the heart of your movement was racism and bigotry and hatred of all sorts, why did you ever think that it wouldn't eventually also go back to Jewish people as well? As a matter of fact, you should have always assumed it was inevitably going to be Jewish people that are at the crosshairs of this, because that's the oldest Christian tradition is blaming Jews for everything.
And so much of that KKK, sort of that John Birch Society, which Buchanan is a direct descendant of, is that the Jews are the ones responsible for bringing in the immigrants and the black people, and that's why the Jews use them in that way. But I think, the tough part, like, as you say, is how do they split that difference? Because the difference between Pat Buchanan and Nick Fuentes is really just like the era they grew up in and what you could and could not say.
Yeah, I don't think Pat Buchanan is
60
like
years is the difference.
Right.
I don't think Pat Buchanan is going on a date with like a gay cat boy. You know what I mean? Like Nick Fuentes did do that. Also, Pat Buchanan
well,
isn't
I'm
Mexican.
putting aside. I mean, listen, I have no idea. If Pat Buchanan is or was secretly gay.
Mm-hmm.
So I grant you, there's differences.
We know he wasn't Mexican.
There's differences between these people. I have no idea about this about Pat Buchanan. I
yeah.
do know that Pat Buchanan would bring me on to MSNBC in the aughts because I was the only Jew he could find who would criticize Israel, and it was one of the most dirty feeling things ever.
Yeah.
To know that he was he was using me in that way, but there was just no criticism at the time of Israel.
Yeah. The worst part about guys like that is that there is so much there is so much awfulness going on in terms of like Israel's involvement in like Middle Eastern agenda, in our Middle Eastern foreign policy, that like you hate to have people like that be the driving force behind the anti-Zionist sentiment in the country. And unfortunately, when in the absence of people like yourself getting prominent slots in media, that's the only person that people hear from. So they end up thinking Tucker Carlson, who in the past, I saw an older video of him actually criticizing Pat Buchanan recently from when he was in his bow tie days, where he's talking about how like anti-Semitic Pat Buchanan is, but he's doing it in the most like Tucker way possible. And Tucker Carlson now becoming the Pat Buchanan figure in the base of the party.
He did the same thing with Bill O'Reilly. In '99, he was on C-SPAN. Maybe it was '99. He had written a book, and he was talking about how Bill O'Reilly was a faux populist. And he said, like, eventually he's going to get. The quote was something to the effect of, like, he's going to be in an airplane. He's going to send back his. What's that drink with the champagne and the orange juice? His mimosa, and yell at the stewardess, and he's going to get outed as as not actually a populist. And then I think what happened with Tucker, and I think you saw this with Pat Buchanan too, was like he actually never got outed as not like it wasn't a problem, and so he just said, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, the Heritage Foundation was, as of like I think last month, petitioning the government to give petitioning the administration to give Pat Buchanan a medal of honor, like a posthumous medal of honor.
That's better. That's the right way to say it.
Yeah.
But like what we're really kind of dancing around here with this is it's a major failure of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
That continuously for the first year and a half of this genocide allowed for the conflation of Zionism with Judaism, and then you get the rise of figures like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's trying to position herself for 2028. Jeet here made this point, I keep returning to it, that she's doing the Trump, which is saying all the things that the base wants you to say, but that basically the Republican establishment isn't saying to gain credibility with them. But she's like tweeting at AIPAC, like, I won't accept your shekels and stuff like that. And it's so obviously anti-Semitic. And yet there's this like, I don't know, rush to carry water for her. I think probably because she's filling some sort of vacuum, but the vacuum is the fault of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And that's what's scary about it, is that we're seeing a real, eventually we knew we were going to get here, but a major, major rise in genuinely anti-Jewish hatred in the country. It's being led by major figures in the Republican Party. And what, Tucker Carlson's a top 10 political podcast in the country. Candace Owens, also a top 10 political podcast in the country. That's scary.
Yeah, good thing the ADL was mostly focused on your boy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For the last 2 years. I looked it up and I couldn't believe it. They brought up Nick Fuentes 0 times post October 7, and they almost entirely focused their efforts on me and like friends of mine on Twitch, none of which were anti-Semitic at all. They were just anti-Israel, and they just hyper focused on seemingly the only anti-Zionists who aren't anti-Semitic in media.
I think that faction, like who the ADL represents, understood that if support for Israel in the Democratic Party, and broadly speaking, like the center to the left, if that collapses, they have a real problem, because they've been able to deliver Kufi has always been there, but that is basically static. They don't know that they can get outside of that, and they know that there's actual anti-Semitism there that they would not fight, so they would not alienate their Kufi people.
Yeah.
But what they have always been afraid of I think has happened, and it is a matter of time. And this is something that was clear was going to happen even 15 years ago, that eventually the Democratic Party, broadly speaking, because of its aspirational values, cannot support Israel. It just can't. You cannot support things from like starting in 1965 with like the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act and have that as your legacy. And the contradiction is just too intense.
Yeah.
You can't do it. It's not sustainable. Now, it's been sustainable for 60 years, to be fair, but that's involved a tremendous amount of effort. And what we're seeing now is like white-knuckled attempt to stop that from happening, and it's happening.
Yeah. No, it's because you no longer have the only mechanisms, the only organs of like informing the public were a much more pliant media ecosystem that in unison was talking about how either never talking about what Israel was up to or only talking about it in like super positive terms. Definitely. And then all of a sudden, when you have this explosion of online content and things of that nature, and people are like, what the hell? Like, I'm seeing charred children, but then, Jake Tapper's talking about how this is actually totally justifiable with like an Israeli admiral. And that created a massive wedge between what the public's opinion is and what like the media ecosystem and the politicians' opinion is on Israel and how to like continuously defend it.
And that's why I think they come after you, is because they can go and they can try and buy Twitter, or Twitch. Or they can buy Twitter, obviously. They can buy Twitch. They can do all these other things. TikTok rather. But independent creators like yourself who are reaching millions of people, that's problematic. And I think what's interesting is that that dynamic is an extreme, puts it in like extreme relief. But there's a similar dynamic happening, I think, within like in the context of like less sort of in more nuanced areas like the Democratic Party. Like I think like Chuck Schumer wouldn't have this problem that he has now 25 years ago. He wouldn't have like, defections of like people like Schiff of all people, or Heinrich going and meeting with candidates that Schumer and Gillibrand are running against in Democratic primaries. Now, with that said, let's look at Chuck Schumer. Has been fighting the good fight. Credit where credit is due. There's word now reporting that there's 8 Democrats. I think I mentioned this yesterday, that there was always going to be a gang of like 5 or 10. It looks like a gang of 8 on the Democratic side, probably like 4 on the Republican side, to come to some deal to make it look like, to end the shutdown. The problem is like, it's quite clear that Trump is on his heels. I mean, he's yelling at them to get rid of the filibuster, and I would please get rid of the filibuster. But part of it is obviously Trump is feeling the heat from guys like Chuck Schumer. Check this out.
Trump also celebrated that grocery prices are going down. Which grocery store does he shop in? Probably none.
Banger.
Flamethrower.
Banger. Dude, can he say that? Can he say? Is he allowed to do that? That's crazy.
But probably none.
You can only do that on the Senate floor.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get in trouble.
Wow.
You're protected because you're a congressman.
There's a way to do that where, like, to Sam, you give like alternate explanations for like shitty political answers, where you just go, he's so out of touch. This guy, this rich guy, doesn't feel your pain. He probably doesn't know what the price of a gallon of milk is.
Imagine him in an aisle.
Yeah, but like not this throw. But probably not. It's so weak.
He's just Rizless. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, him and Hakeem Jeffries are
know what that
so
means.
bad. They just have no Riz, like no charisma.
No, I
they
know what
are
Riz means.
so ineffective as communicators. And this is quite literally a major part of the reason why Biden was unsuccessful as a leader, because he was demented and old and could not speak effectively and could not speak convincingly on some of the modest changes that they were making, some of the marginal improvements that they were making. And it's crazy to me that the Democrats have consistently continued in this dynamic media environment, especially continue to not look within and dig into their talent pool to try and bring out fresh faces that will actually effectively launch a fight against Donald Trump and the Republicans. And that's why they are underwater and less popular than the Republican Party is right now.
Yeah, and also just to say, like, why does Donald Trump overperform in presidential elections and the Republican Party underperforms in off year? It's because he has a communication style that cuts above literally everything else. He's a direct communicator. It sounds insane, but people like think he sounds like he's speaking off the cuff, because he often is, regardless of like what he's saying in terms of the lies. That is where, like, you hear Chuck Schumer talking about, the social media that we have to get involved in.
Yeah.
They're so behind. That should have been the conversation 10 years ago. Now you've got to be speaking directly to people in a way that makes sense to them. That's part of why Zoran is such an effective communicator. I know that, like, he's talented in many ways, but it's also the fact that he doesn't treat voters like idiots, and he comes out with policy platforms where he speaks directly to you about what he's trying to do. And that is the antidote as well, in my view.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the Democratic Party, more so than the Republicans, has always had a sort of like, at least in the past couple of decades, a fealty to seniority.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Republicans now don't have the same seniority system that Democrats have on the committees that they're on. And that has been a real problem, because you had literally a generation. Chuck Schumer is one of those. I mean, Pelosi is actually probably like the greatest generation. I don't know if she's actually a boomer. She may be just a little bit older than a boomer. But they were sitting atop these committees, these politicians, and they were basically starving oxygen for people who were my age and a little bit younger. And so anybody who grew up with like new media or this and that, they're just kept out of the loop. And we see it in the context of, like, Chuck Schumer is functioning as if it's in the 1990s. And I would say even Hakeem Jeffries was chosen by someone who also had a similar sort of perspective. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Hakeem Jeffries is Speaker, or I should say majority or minority leader, because Nancy Pelosi wanted him to.
True.
And so he was cut in that same cloth. What was considered attributes at that time was not, the ability to communicate with the American public.
It's the ability to
He can't even-
fundraise.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I can't get over, is when they say, like, it's New York City. It's New York City. Zoran can't be replicated across the country. Sell that to the two leaders of your party in the Senate and the House that you selected. Like, they can't make the argument that New York City's out of touch and that the Democrats shouldn't listen to that dynamic, and also have the leader of the House and the leader of the Democrats in the House and Senate be from that city. So it's just insane.
And they are the least popular national figures from the city. Because, like, AOC eats a lot of attacks, but she is a relatively popular national figure. Bernie Sanders is another example, is from Vermont, but like I would go so far as say that, like, normally I think if they were to attack Zoran, for example, they would have tied him back to Bernie and AOC, and instead they tied him to someone like myself.
Yep.
I think that's a little interesting because think about what this media cycle would have looked like in under Trump 1, or not Trump 1, but like under the Biden administration. If the Republican or like establishment Democrats were like, actively trying to squeeze out their left flank, they probably would have associated him with AOC and Bernie. The reason why they're not doing that anymore is because the oligarchy tour, like the Stop Oligarchy tour and things like that, have actually created a lot more prestige and a lot more favorability for the likes of AOC and Bernie Sanders. So like that wing of the party is objectively more successful and more popular in its outreach and also in its policies in the eyes of the broader base of support.
Yep.
I mean, you see it right here. Wait a second. I don't think I have I don't have the picture. But like there's a piece in the New Yorker magazine, socialism or abundance. You've got a picture of a national leader, and the only person representing any other you have a two-time presidential candidate who remains. And I will say this, somebody else pointed to me, I guess Joe Biden maybe, but Joe Biden never got as close to the presidency as Bernie Sanders did in either 2016 or 2020. I mean, he ran, but he didn't get very far in any of those elections. Who is as popular, a two-time loser, who is as popular as Bernie Sanders is. And they put him into contrast with Ezra Klein, who, I mean, okay, he's a New York Times columnist, but where's
his base?
Here's the cover.
Where's the politician who represents abundance or whatever?
Where are the abundists?
Exactly.
Where is the abundist movement?
I mean, that's what's sort of fascinating about it, is that nobody wants that label.
Yeah.
No politician wants that label.
Yeah, because they would have to put like what, Marie Gluesenkamp Perez or whatever, and that would look ridiculous. Everyone would be like, okay, yeah, I know exactly who I'm going for.
Well, not to Ezra. He included Mary Gluesenkamp Perez as his other, in that horrific op-ed that we were talking about yesterday in the New York Times. He was saying the Democrats need to be a big tent, from the likes of Zoran Mamdani and Bernie Sanders to Mary Gluesenkamp Perez and Joe Manchin. It's like, oh yeah, all the people that are
Joe
filling
Manchin
stadiums.
is an independent.
I know, he's not even in the party anymore.
Yeah.
But then I think he cited Jared Golden too, right? Which is basically he's basically a libertarian kind of Democrat at this point.
It's funny because like whenever they talk about like popularism, even like the David Shore method, right? It's always strange that they never bring up
Israel,
which is like the objectively most popular thing that you could use as an issue if you wanted to present yourself as an earnest candidate, especially right now when there is an opportunity to do that, because it's still somewhat of a unique issue that weirdly enough none of the Democrats are speaking out on and none of the Republicans are speaking out on. Like, this is the opportunity, and that's why I hate that like Marjorie Taylor Greene and them are like seizing on that moment to be like, we are the people who are earnest because we do actually take Israel to task, but they never bring up Israel, and they always.
Well, that's what I mean. They'll move from like what helps electorally to like, well, there's some things you can't really change,
right?
And they decide what those are.
And what I've seen that is really interesting is like there is definitely a state of panic amongst the consulting class, because they're doing the Welcome Pack, they're doing all of these like different. Every other week it seems like they invent like a new Yale graduate to come in and come from one of these think tanks to be like, actually, it's we need moderation. We need to move away from the cultural issues. We need to just say we need to also be like anti-trans, but also we need to at least have light economic populism in our agenda. And it's like, okay, that's what Biden did, and that's what Kamala Harris did.
Right.
Like and they lost. So obviously that method didn't work, because like everything that they have recirculated is exactly what Matty Iglesias loved about the Kamala Harris campaign.
Yep.
How is that not an alarming thing?
I think people really have to sort of internalize this Israel thing. If you wanted to sit down and you wanted to make the argument that there is no position that is sacrosanct, right? Like, I mean, we're going to put it all on the table. We're going to put abortion on the table. We're going to put trans rights on the table.
Yeah.
you've got to put Israel on the table. And if you look at the numbers, I mean, if you look at and you say like, okay, there's no, we don't make an assessment on what is just or what is right or what is even consistent with the Democratic brand to the extent that it exists, even if we imagine it.
70% of Democrats think Israel's committing genocide. Only 8% of Democrats support Israel's military action in Gaza, and that was from 3 months ago.
But even put aside what Democrats think about it.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea is to appeal to the right. Like, where is there more opportunity than to come out and say we are no longer going to provide aid to Israel? Just like that.
That same poll, 25% of independents are that's the amount that supports Israel's military action in Gaza. Just to add to your point, is that a majority of independents are against this crap too.
All right, look, we got to take a break. When we come back, maybe we'll take some phone calls. We got some more clips to go through. And we're going to head into the fun half of the program. And we'll talk about what you're doing for coverage tonight. If you're a free member, or you're a free listener, we're going to be back here tonight, probably around 8-ish, to start doing coverage. And hopefully we're going to have some people call in from the various Zoran parties. I think there's like multiple ones around the city.
Yeah.
And people call in. We may even like send a stringer to one of them. We're not sure yet, but we'll be probably drinking. And what? Here's the other thing I wanted to say. Today is Tuesday, November 4th. It is the 5-year anniversary of Emma Vigeland coming onto this program.
Damn. You've been here for 5 years? That's crazy.
I know. There's a bunch of, you can't hear it, but a million sound drops are playing at once right now.
There's the shofar. What do you mean I can't hear it? I can feel it in my heart. Spiritually.
That's beautiful. Yes. It's been 5 years, I guess. Yeah, wow. So
that's crazy.
There used to be, if you can see that rod
two
there.
TYT
When
alumni.
Emma first came in,
there was a clear shower curtain hanging between us because it was
that
the pandemic.
blue thing there.
Oh,
everything was jerry-rigged.
And
in
the
this
window
office.
would always be open, even in the dead of winter. I still have a blanket in that locker over there that I used to wrap my legs in. So
I had one of those CO2 measures, and I could actually get the CO2 levels in this office to be essentially consistent with being outside.
Yeah.
So,
congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I can't believe it's been 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
Well,
yeah,
you've done a great job so far. We'll see.
What's this guy saying?
He can't be sincere.
So far. So far, so good.
That's it. That's
Also, best of Sam.
Oh, yes. And folks, if you have best ofs, suggestions, send us an email at majorityreporters@gmail.com. Put in the subject line best ofs. And again, they can go all the way back into 2024 in November. Now, things were a little somber, I think, in November 2024, but maybe in December there was some best ofs. I don't know. But just put in your suggestion. It can be a fun half thing too. Somebody said David Feldman calling in about, I think it was ice.
Oh yeah, humorous clips you see from the fun half. Send those in too.
The emotion chart, PBD.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, that's an easy first ballot. Yeah.
Just a reminder, it's your support that makes the show possible. You can become a member at jointhemajorryreport.com. When you do, you not only get the free show free of commercials, you also get the fun half. Matt, Left Reckoning.
Big show tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern. Griscom talked with Catherine Liu. Great conversation there. And I talked with some North Texas DSA folks about anti-algorithmic rental pricing campaign that they're running, and Sandeep Vaheesan on these non-competes that the FTC was trying to implement and that Trump has gutted. So a big show. No post-game. In fact, the post-games might be done because some changes are coming to a Left Reckoning soon. And there's going to be a little bit of programming changes, but I would just say keep your Friday afternoons clean, folks. Some announcements.
Well, look at you, like you're giggling, like you're bursting at the seams.
And we still don't have any more extra
An
money.
extra show coming on Friday.
All right, quick break. Head into the fun half.
3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now. And I don't think it's going to be the same as it looks like in 6 months from now. And I don't know if it's necessarily going to be better 6 months from now than it is 3 months from now. But I think around 18 months out, we're going to look back and go like, wow.
What? What is that going on? It's nuts. Wait a second. Hold on for a second.
The Majority Report.
Emma, welcome to the program.
Hey.
Matt.
What is up, everyone?
Nomi Key.
You did it. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Bradley, you want to say hello?
Sorry to disappoint everyone. I'm just a random guy.
It's all the boys today.
Fundamentally false.
No, I'm sorry. Women's
Stop talking for a second and let me finish.
Where is this coming from, dude?
But dude, you want to smoke this 7A?
Yes.
Hi, me? This me?
Yes.
Is this me?
Is it me?
It is you.
Is this me? Hello, is this me?
I think it is you. Who is you? No sound. Every single freaking day. What's on your mind?
Sports.
We can discuss free markets and we can discuss capitalism.
I'm gonna go start what?
Who libertarians? They're so stupid though. Common sense says, of course.
gobbledygook.
We fucking nailed him.
So what's 79 plus 21?
Challenge Matt.
I'm positively quivering.
I believe 96, I want to say.
857-210-501. 1/2. 3/8.
9/11, for instance.
$3,400, $1,900.
6, 5, 4, $3 trillion sold. It's a zero-sum game.
Actually, you're making me think less of it.
But let me say this. Poop.
You can call it satire. Sam goes, it's satire.
On top of it all,
Yeah.
my favorite part about you is just like every day, all day, like
Yeah.
everything you do.
Without a doubt. Hey, buddy, we see you. All right, folks.
It's just the weak being weeded out, obviously.
Yeah, sun's out, guns out. I don't know.
But you should know.
People just don't like to entertain ideas anymore.
I have a question. Who cares?
Our chat is enabled, folks.
I love it.
I do love that.
Look, gotta jump. Gotta be quick. I gotta jump.
I'm losing it, bro.
2 o'clock. We're already late, and the guy's being a dick. So screw him. Sent to a gulag?
Outrageous.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Love you, bye.
Love you. Bye-bye. We are back. Sam Seder, Emma Vigeland on the Majority Report, and sitting in with us in the fun half, Hasan Piker. Do you want to take some calls?
Let's do it.
All right. Folks, we are turning off the call-in, the voicemail. Callers are in. Let's let them populate for a second.
Every American will soon receive their own MedBed card.
I loved when he did that. That's real. Yeah, I'm a medbed truther.
He made one for Dilbert.
It's happening
Oh yeah,
somewhere.
true.
That's what will save him.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the phones. Calling from a 646 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from? Hold on. Hello?
How are you today?
Wait. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
My name is John. How are you?
I'm
Is this Mahordy?
Mahordy?
Mahordy Report?
This is the Majority Report.
Mahordy Report. Majority. Your name is Majority. My name is John. I'm calling on behalf of the Andrew Cuomo for Mayor campaign. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. This is Majority. John?
This is Majority. Your name is Majority. Trust me, I've been doing a lot of phone calling today, and my name is John, which is a very common name, but I've had tons of different names. I've talked to a Vanity. I've talked to a Molmar, like Molmar.
Is your last name?
But how's it going today?
Is this Benjamin? Is your last name John?
What?
Benjamin? John Benjamin.
Yes. How did you know my last name?
Dude, you just
Supposed
called
to be,
into my show. You just called into my show. What are you doing?
Cedar?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Shit. That's so crazy. It says you're on my call list. Fuck. All right.
Wait. You're calling for Cuomo?
Well, I'm phone bank. Yeah, I am. I didn't think I would. I don't know how I got this number. That's so fucked up.
So you've been you've been.
But the campaign gave me a whole list of numbers. I don't know who I'm calling. I've been, this is like my 300th call.
And you're calling for Andrew Cuomo.
Well, I'm calling for Cuomo for mayor. Yeah, did I not tell you that?
No, you didn't. Why are you? What is your? Why are you calling for Cuomo? Why would you possibly support Andrew Cuomo?
Well, I know you support the other candidate. That's fine. I don't know whether I should give you my pitch because.
Yeah, I would love to hear your freaking pitch.
Hey, Benjamin.
Hey, how are you?
Hey.
Sorry about this confusion.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Hassan Piker is sitting in too. Well, let's hear. Tell us all. Tell all three of us your pitch.
Well, okay. I mean, part of it is red. I don't know if that's, but it's election day. It's crucial to get your voice heard.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have a plan to get out there and vote today?
I actually vote early, but go ahead.
You voted already.
Yeah.
Yep, me too.
I am going to illegally vote today on the day of the election. I'm excited for this pitch. I might go in either direction.
I mean, are you all aware that we have an affordability crisis here in New York?
Yes.
Affordability.
Right. Yeah. Affordability.
The other candidate, which I think Sam, you already voted for, says the rents are too high, and here's the Cuomo campaign. We really think that the rents are not high enough.
Oh.
In New York.
Why is that?
Well, we don't want to freeze the rent here in New York, right? We want to free the rent. We want rents higher so that wealthier people in New York and outside of New York will come to live here. And the only way that's going to happen is if we raise the rents considerably in order for them to be able to do that. Do you understand?
Yeah, like to make the luxury good. Like, you know how when, you make something a little bit more expensive than the competitors, it makes it so that the wealthy people will want to come here.
Like a Rolex, like a Veblen good.
Yeah, good point.
And Emma and Hasan, you're talking my language right now because, yes, New York City is a luxury good. And I do mean that in both sense of the term good. Luxury is good. It's for the common good. I mean, we're the Cuomo campaign want to make sure that less wealthy people and the poor people can be housed elsewhere, but not in New York City, where we want wealthier people to be here, to stay here, and to have the luxury life that they're used to. We don't want them leaving and going to Florida. We want them coming here.
I see.
You know how expensive it is to private jet to Florida and back?
Is it expensive? I would imagine it's expensive.
It certainly is. I've been invited on several private jets, and then I can't afford it. But the people who were on the jet with me could. It's expensive.
Solid point.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean, like I said, I don't fly commercial. But at this point in my life, I have to do what's called net shares, which is it's a group of people that fly private together. So it's not like actually.
That's horrendous.
I mean, it's basically slumming it. You need your own.
There were three families.
Greyhound in the sky,
which was fine.
Yeah, that must.
But I mean, have you considered these points? I mean, we're thinking like, for instance, in New York, we can create certain zones for the wealthy class, in order to stay, and those zones are only permitted to be entered by those people who live here and pay, their not their fair share of taxes, but some taxes. They'll lower those taxes, so they'll stay.
You're saying that in support of Cuomo, you're calling for lowering taxes on rich people?
Lowering taxes on rich people and raising rents for rich people, yeah.
Oh, I see.
So that richer people can make more money as well. I mean, so that we can have the city we deserve.
Right.
Wait. So I'm sorry, Benjamin.
For instance, let me give you an analogy, Emma, just before you hit back, because I know you're going to hit back.
No.
Let's say you live. I'm sure a lot of you guys live in an apartment building, right?
Mm-hmm.
I live in an apartment building. I have a neighbor. Okay, my door is clean. I don't have anything on it except my door knocker. Right?
Okay.
So my neighbor has a bunch of stickers all over their door. One says I climb Mount Washington. There's a ton of them. I don't know. They're hikers. They travel a lot. They put stickers on the outside of their door. I mean, it's sort of unseemly, right?
Right.
We share space.
Gotcha.
Now let's say I could live in a place where those stickers are gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're not there anymore. Their door's like my door.
So, Benjamin, you said earlier that you want a separate space for rich people. Is the Cuomo campaign advocating for apartheid within New York City?
Well, I don't speak entirely for the Cuomo campaign, but I'm gleaning
Not entirely?
A lot of stuff.
Okay. You wouldn't use the word apartheid, maybe?
I mean, I don't think that would be a good necessarily word to use to get out the vote.
Okay.
What about the buses? Because, like I said, I'm not very tapped in on what's going on. I'm about to vote illegally, and I've heard that.
No, and hey, by the way, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. I'm doing it for New York and New Yorkers, rich New Yorkers specifically.
Yeah, we need more votes.
Yeah.
So there you go. We want numbers.
Yeah. So I heard that Zoran wants to make the buses fast and free, which yuck, obviously, because that would allow the rabble rousers to move around the city, and we don't want that. What's the Cuomo counter to that?
Good question.
That is a good question. Slower buses.
Okay. I'm listening.
Slower buses than they are now. Why would you want slower buses?
I mean, it sends a message.
What's the message?
Well, that it's going to be harder to get into New York. It's going to take a lot more time, and we don't want that. We want we want more space. Maybe I would say less buses.
Less buses
entirely, for sure.
So
buses create congestion in the city, certainly in Manhattan, and I think in a lot of the boroughs, buses create congestion, creates traffic problems. We can't get our cars in and out easy enough. I would say I'm not, like I said, I'm not speaking directly for Cuomo, but this is an incredible plan for a Cuomo-run city. Eliminate buses.
And what about subways?
I would definitely make the subways slower and less available. I think that the subways are also create a congestion problem, super high crime. Less people would start taking the subways. We can start now and in 4 years completely eliminate the subway system in New York City.
I love this. More room for vehicles, I think. We could use the subway tunnel systems. Maybe even get like the Elon Musk.
Well, also,
You're
the
speaking his
Elon Musk
language.
tunnel. The Elon Musk tunnel plan is a great plan for New York. It was a great plan for Vegas. Look how it worked in Vegas.
Yeah.
It worked in Vegas.
I mean, what do you mean by work?
There are tens of Teslas transporting people one at a time from one place to another in Las Vegas, one of the most heavily visited cities in the country. And you're talking about 4 or 5 people accommodated at a time, one at a time in the tunnels. This city could absolutely use a transformation of the subway system into Tesla tunnels. I think that's a great plan. Thank you.
What about universal childcare? What's the Cuomo plan for that?
Well, I think universal is crazy. That's the entire. Let's just focus on New York City. More like
eyes on the prize.
Yeah.
So you think?
I think like that's why Andrew Cuomo from mayor wants to focus on the city. He doesn't want to focus.
Well, I think you're
from
misunderstanding what universal means. It means universal, like everybody. It's available to everybody in New York City.
Right. I mean, I think that's like that's pie in the sky.
Pie in the sky.
And I think, well, right. Cuomo wants to get things done. He just doesn't want to say things, right? Like, do you want every child in the city taken care of?
True. Sometimes kids. No, he's right. Sometimes kids have bad vibes. Like
they might not deserve it.
Well, and sometimes kids can take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And those are the kids who become very successful later in life.
Well, we're talking when we talk childcare, we're talking like ages like
Well, you're
2,
not kept
3,
in a
4.
room. Yeah, Cuomo thinks out of the box. These kids can probably, even at age 2, 3, and 4, some kids. I'm not saying all kids. Some kids can travel on their own, can navigate the city on their own.
2, 3, some 2 to 3 to 4-year-olds
can go back to the ballpark or the basketball court, and play with other children on their own, and then find their way home. I know kids who do that.
You know 2, 3, and 4-year-old kids who do that. Why would you even? Why would you know 2, 3, 4-year-old kids?
My kid did that.
Your kid did
that. He's 22 now, and he's not doing well at the moment. But he did do that.
I think it's important to instill hustle culture and Sigma grindset mentality in children as early as the ages of 2 and 4. You are convincing me to illegally vote for Andrew Cuomo.
There you go. I
think.
don't know what Sigma mindset is, but I'm sure Andrew Cuomo will be behind that.
There was a little bit of hang up. It felt like he was against me in particular in the campaign. He did bring me up quite a bit, but I think now you've sold me.
I didn't know that. I can certainly talk to him about that.
You didn't hear?
Whoa.
You didn't hear about this, Benjamin?
Because it sounds like you guys sound like you're simpatico as far as
wait.
Right?
You're in direct contact with Cuomo?
I mean, when I listen to Hasan Piker, I hear a young Andrew Cuomo, basically.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think you're online to do great things.
Well,
the highest honor.
If you stay on track, right, and do the right thing. If you stay on track and do the right thing.
Yeah.
That's always important.
Well, John, I'll let you, I guess, get back to doing your call.
Well, Andrew will have your back. I know we don't have your vote, Sam, but I can see Emma. I can hear you changing your mind. Hasan, same. Even though you're going to vote illegally, I think I think like Andrew would say, I don't care how you vote, vote.
Okay.
Love that.
Andrew. All right.
Yeah.
Well, say hi to Andrew for us.
You get out there. I haven't met him yet, but I will. I'll try and get into the party tonight.
I suspect that there's going to be room.
It's an easy invite.
You should come with me, bro.
Well, talk to you later.
Andrew taught me to say bro.
Okay.
Wow.
I wonder where the Cuomo watch party is tonight.
It's probably at Peter Luger's.
No, I have a friend who's been trying to go to one and he can't find it. He's in like all the group chats because he wants to document it and potentially write about it. I won't reveal their name here, but he has been unable to find a single Andrew Cuomo watch party, which it makes sense. I guess like like retirement homes, maybe, or
Probably a Marriott, like
probably
ballroom.
a
Last
sensitive.
place they would have it.
Yeah.
He's been basically, instead of doing campaign events, oh, right.
I didn't think about that. No, I just, yeah.
He's been, instead of doing campaign events, he's been renting out like hotel conference rooms to do PowerPoint presentations.
It's at a Holiday Inn in Staten Island.
Honestly, my understanding with the Zoran campaign, they had 100,000 volunteers.
Yeah.
There's no way they can have. I mean, my understanding is there's like a half a dozen parties around the city. They're obviously not going to be able to get all the volunteers in there. How many unpaid? Well, I guess definitionally, how many volunteers do you think there were for Andrew Cuomo?
Well, I was one of them, and I think your friend
John Benjamin.
John Benjamin was another.
I cannot believe that Benjamin would be doing this for free, but it's possible. But honestly, I mean, in the primary, I found one person handing out Cuomo things. I was on the Upper East Side. It was a Thursday. I was going to see the doctor, and I walked by. The guy gave me the thing, and then I walked like half a block, and I'm like, I'm wondering. I went back, and I was like, why? What is it about Cuomo that you like? And the guy was like, I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
There you go.
Many such cases.
He wouldn't even attempt to sell Cuomo. Like, he didn't even know. They didn't give him any sort of, this is what you say. You just hand it out.
But that's also, when we were talking about the consultant class freaking out in the first hour of the show, that is part of what Zoran threatens, not just ideologically with democratic socialism, also, attacking the Islamophobia from within the Democratic Party. He represents a new way of doing politics that doesn't make the same people rich who have been getting rich in democratic politics for 30 years. There's no money in canvassing and in volunteers. There's a lot of money in TV ads. And I think that's as much of a threat institutionally to the Democratic Party as is his ideology.
All right, let's cover some of this here. Food stamp funding. Two different judges, one in Boston, one in Rhode Island. I imagine Providence, ordered the administration to continue funding SNAP. There's two problems. One is the administration says we're only going to do half. So recipients, 42 million Americans are only going to get half of what they are entitled to under SNAP laws. And because of the system that we have, it's going to take 10 days for them to get the money. So they're going to miss a week and a half of funding. Here is, what is it? Which number is that, the Ilhan Omar? Which one?
Sorry, this is Schumer. This isn't about food stamps.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Ilhan Omar's, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And meanwhile, and I'm sure you've seen this, the right, after they lost the argument about whether they could provide SNAP benefits, right, which was a lie. In fact, they were statutorily obligated. They then moved into immediately the mode of like, SNAP benefits are not deserved.
Yeah.
We heard like Corolla lie about like the average weight of SNAP benefits people, which is irrelevant to me, but it's like, yes, we're going back to like Reagan era stuff.
The welfare queen arguments.
100%. And it's no surprise that Corolla does that, right? Like he's of that generation, my age probably, where we grew up on Ronald Reagan. Here's an example of that. This is Indiana's Lieutenant Governor Mika Beckwith, who turns out to be a Christian nationalist.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what a good Christian has to say about feeding the needy and the poor.
Here you go.
Feeding the hungry.
People are suffering because of this government shutdown. It is the Democrat Schumer shutdown. They are the ones taking full responsibility for it. I think in the meantime, I think this is a great opportunity for the church, the local church, to step up. Like Floyd said, this is really, it's not the government's job really to feed people. I mean, nowhere in Scripture do we see, God calling the government to care for the sick, the orphan, the poor, the needy, the widow. That's the church's job. And so this is a great opportunity for the Church of Jesus Christ in America to actually start acting like it and to be ready to feed the hungry and welcome those who need help. People are.
So there you go. God did not call on the American government to feed people. I mean, that is in Scripture.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there was a timing problem. We didn't really have a government at that time.
Mr. Dinosaurs over here.
Right.
You believe in dinosaurs too?
But I think the idea was, I mean, I don't know Scripture either, but I feel like there was like, didn't Jesus say stuff about like providing for the poor? There was no church at the time of Jesus, as far as I remember. I don't know. It seems like it's more like the principle, right?
Not the government, though. That's an individual philanthropic person. So I guess technically that's what they're advocating for here.
They want to increase dependence on things like the church and remove dependence on things like the state, and that takes.
It's a great opportunity for the
Here's
church.
the bottom line: the church cannot do it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I'm reading that Trump is saying he's not going to pay even the half now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
That's open defiance of the courts.
One of the craziest parts about this has been that they were like, oh, we're gonna play ball. We just have to figure out how to do this legally, and it's like, well, you don't have that as a consideration when you're murdering random fishermen off the coastline of Venezuela. Like, there's no interest in legality there. But when it comes to like feeding American citizens, majority of which are Republican or from red areas in general. Then you have to think about the courts, even though the courts are literally forcing you to do it.
Yes, I mean the fact is that statutorily there is money set aside explicitly for a situation like this. 2 courts have ruled that way. But here is what they're doing now. This is Brett Cooper. Where does she work? Is she on the Brett Cooper show?
Went solo.
Oh, she's not on the Daily Wire.
She left,
Independent media.
But the bottom line is we're seeing the right really pushing this narrative like it is not necessary. The demonizing SNAP now, right? Like that's the next step.
Yeah.
Okay.
Populist
we
right.
may be legally allowed to continue funding. We may be legally obligated to continue funding, but we shouldn't. And why? Here's evidence as cited by Ben Shapiro's clone. Wasn't she developed
She used to be
in a
at the
Petri dish?
Yeah, she was at the Daily Wire originally, and then she left and went on her own. And
is she the one who was developed by taking a piece of his hair and they? Okay.
They cloned her. Fem Shapiro.
Trust society, that is going to be taken advantage of, as it has been today. When there is no real transition program to get people off of SNAP, why would people even try? Crowder posted about this and he said, SNAP costs taxpayers $145 billion a year. Recipients spend twice what the average worker does on groceries, which is insane, and that is true, I fact-checked that. That is not helping the poor. It is rewarding the people who abuse the system. This is why the entire thing just needs to be stripped down and rebuilt.
They spend it at your grocery store.
Okay. Also, but Sam is, I think, looking up the average person's spending on groceries, but I know off the top of my head that the average SNAP payment is $187
a week. I just don't think
a
that's
month.
I have another fun fact that's not so fun, but the average American taxpayer footing the bill for SNAP is $36 as opposed to I think it's like $670 that the average American taxpayer pays for corporate subsidies.
Yep.
And it's 42 million Americans. I think it's like 16 million children in general. And it is mind-boggling that these guys are now actively saying like, no, we need to cut SNAP. It is such a marginal part of this this whole endeavor at a time when we're giving $40 billion to Argentina so that Scott Besant's friend can not default on the debt that he purchased many years prior.
Right.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
Just a loose. This is not true that they spend that. There is some
But
argument.
Steven Crowder fact checks all of his stuff and puts all the information in the show notes.
I'm actually surprised. He's my favorite content creator. This is
according to the Dumbass Institute.
Yeah, this is devastating me right now.
It is conceivable that they spend anywhere from 13 to 20%, possibly more. But it's comparing apples and oranges because workers tend to spend a 13 to 15% of their income on groceries. And it's hard to compare that to SNAP beneficiaries because they are working in probably lower wage jobs in general. But Nevertheless, let's continue to see where she's going with this since she fact checks everything.
Which is insane, and that is true. I fact-checked that. That is not helping the poor. It is rewarding the people who abuse the system. This is why the entire thing just needs to be stripped down and rebuilt. I am not against government assistance in a black and white way, but I am against a system that enables this kind of exploitation. We need new guidelines on who can qualify and for how long. We need new standards on what people can purchase. Like, no more fancy Nespresso pods, no more candy or soda or freaking lobster tails for your 7 kids from your 7 freaking baby daddies.
Pause it for a second.
There you
Pause it
go.
for a second. First off, if you can get lobster tails for $9.99, I would tell you
Don't. No. Don't. No. All right.
Is that not cheap?
Yeah, that's the point. Don't get lobster tails for $9. Who knows where the hell that's from?
It's Whole Foods.
It's Whole Foods.
Okay.
But also, like, I can't be the only one who doesn't give a shit about what the working poor eat. Like, that's such an insane thing. Is like, these are the people who are like, oh, the World Economic Forum wants you to eat the bugs, and now they're literally like, no, actually, if you're working poor, then you shouldn't have cookies for your children. And it's like, you don't get to dictate that decision, you absolute psychopath. Plus, on top of that, the National Grocery Chain, like the National Grocery Retailers Association, which is like a right-wing group, is also pro-SNAP because 12% of their overall revenue, especially a higher percentage of overall revenue in rural areas where there are less retailers and less options in general, rely on SNAP as a additional subsidy. What is it, like $1 on
And
SNAP
farmers
circulates?
also.
Each dollar on SNAP, each dollar in federally funded SNAP benefits generates $1.79 in economic activity because you're feeding people and giving the money to your local grocer.
Let alone that it's subsidizing corporations like Walmart that pay subsidy wages where you have like a disproportionate amount of their workers who are on benefits like this. Let alone that there are already restrictions on what SNAP benefits can be used on at the point of purchase, including you can't purchase hot food. If I'm not mistaken, right, Matt? Yeah.
In California, you can, but in most places, you can't.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is like, she's acting like this is a free-for-all. Oh, they're, sucking the lobster out of these, out of the tails and having butter
honestly,
with it.
that's cheaper than hamburger. It's probably healthier for you, too,
And
assuming it's actually lobster.
Okay, well, putting the lobster
Sam's
aside
making a
for a
purchase.
second, God forbid.
Brian's with me. He grew up in Maine.
Yes, I'm with you 100%. $9 lobster, you're
You
insane.
kidding?
I think
we're both going for that right now.
That's the headline of this video is $9 lobster.
I think we need like Maoist style. If you say stuff like this publicly, you have to live off of SNAP for
Yes.
like a year. They have to just like force you to the countryside to go work in the farmland, become a farmhand for a little bit and live off of SNAP so that you understand the importance of programs like this.
Yeah, and like undocumented labor too. Like, go to the fields.
But this is she's just winding up now for the real pitch.
Freaking lobster tails for your 7 kids from your 7 freaking baby daddies. And yes, that is a real thing.
Because of the government shutdown, now I can't get my stamps for next month. How am I feed my 7 kids? I have 7 different baby daddies, and none of them no good for me.
Ma'am, this is an insane
Can you pause
video
it?
to make.
Pause it. Okay, I felt good.
Good job.
Yeah. Okay, so I did a deep dive into this before Brett Cooper released this video. There are the 7 baby daddies and the 7 children is like a racialized trope in general. And it has been a script that is disseminated everywhere with AI videos of angry black women speaking to the camera. That person in particular, we actually looked at. We found the original account.
Really?
Yeah, that person in particular is not AI, but we suspect that she's rage baiting and like saw the AI video and just basically did the exact same thing. Because another one of the videos that she uses, Brett Cooper uses in her compilation that she shows in the beginning of her video. And yeah, this is the one. This is one of the many different 7 baby daddies, 7 children scripts that we found. That's an AI one. But there was one that she used, another black woman who's like who brings up like a sense of entitlement about how the taxpayer is supposed to foot the bill. The taxpayer is supposed to pay for my 7 baby daddies. And it turns out that they actually clipped it. It was actually a right-wing conservative TikToker that is like not a very well-known conservative TikToker that was verbatim copying the script of the AI video that they had seen. And then at the end of it, they go, that's literally a video that I saw. Not the one that you just showed, but there's another one in the Brett Cooper video. If you go back, it's a lady with like big earrings and like she has glasses on. It's a black lady with like big earrings. She has glasses on. She takes the glasses off in the beginning of the, I think it's in that compilation before that, right before that one. Go
Back
more.
a little.
Go back further. Yeah, it's in the beginning. Yeah, this one.
There it is.
This
Okay.
one.
So this woman is a conservative influencer who copied the script.
Yes.
And then said, I'm just redoing essentially a real thing.
The original video of this is so crazy because they cut it in this larger compilation and they put it into 2 different places. But we found the original video. And in the original video, she just goes through here. You can show the video for a second. She like is basically doing the exact same script, the exact same AI script that we've seen.
It's been day 5 and I have not received no food stamps. My disability checks is on hold. My cash benefits is not coming no more. They're still pending. It is the taxpayer's job to pay for my kids to eat and for my kids to be taken care of. I have over 2,000 followers on TikTok and I can't get not one person to send me 50 cents. If you're watching a video and you can't send me nothing, I'm blocking you.
Correct.
So that's from a compilation from a right-wing influencer, right? But we found the original video, and in the original video, she just goes through this entire thing, and at the end goes, "That's dead ass something that I saw on the timeline." Isn't that crazy? How entitled some of these people are in terms of like what they want out of their, what they want out of taxpayers.
But she knows what she's doing, right?
Do you think she knew?
They're
that, like,
auditioning.
do you think that she knew that like somebody's going to clip this, they'll use it. I'll have the plausible deniability in that at the end of the thing I said, all of this is just stuff that I saw.
I just could not believe that was actually a right-winger making fun of the AI script that she had seen, and then it got elevated to this position as though like she's being sincere about her anger.
But don't you think that that's part of the incentive structure? Is as if these conservatives give them something useful, then perhaps they're rewarded either with clicks or something later. I mean, it feels like that's probably part of it.
Potentially, I think right now we have this like clickbait culture in general, where people are just straight up rage baiting.
They'll
where
just do whatever they can to
see,
get money.
Even if they see like AI videos, right? Very clearly created AI videos. They might not be able to distinguish whether it's an AI video or not, but they see those videos going viral. They go, oh, I want to go viral. I'm just going to literally do the exact same script. But this time it's like a real person.
I mean,
we're being duped by machines.
It's
is what
insane.
I'm saying.
And they are literally generating basically the welfare queen trope and just creating realish looking people that will regurgitate exactly what they want to say. What she said there was immensely racist. We should just put that out there. And it's as old as the the Republican Party, the modern iteration of it for decades.
Yeah. Also, even if someone has 7 children, like the children shouldn't die. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah, okay. Feed the fucking 7 kids.
If you have more than, let's just call it 4 kids, sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah, L for you. L for you. No, but
sorry, natalists.
Yeah. No, it's just like it's the classic like, oh, these people are irresponsible, or the classic Thomas Sowell bit where it's like they're having children, black people are having children specifically so they can farm the government for more money.
First of all, what's also amazing is that you've got Tucker Carlson and JD Vance and all of those sort of tradcons saying we need to have more babies. So it's sort of undercutting.
But they mean white babies.
Yes, of course. And I just want to make this clear. Let's go back just to the Brett Cooper thing because she fact checks stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just remember that. She played like 3 AI videos and just what we just scanned through there, maybe 2 AIs and one that was just copied of an AI.
Some of them are real. Some of them are actual people addressing their genuine grievances. But all of this creates this narrative that by and large black people are taking advantage of the system. They're entitled and they're being irresponsible with their behavior by having multiple children out of wedlock, and like it goes back into the exact same racialized tropes.
This has been going on for this is as I think it was Lee Atwater, was it
exactly.
this is on his deathbed, he's like, we used to say the N-word and now we say busing, and then it's like, I mean, it's all just a way to activate that sort of like notion of
getting white people on board to cut the already like diminished welfare structure that exists, that they take advantage of as well, that they need as well, because they're out there thinking, well, some black people are doing it too, and I don't want that. It's disgusting, but it's also a phenomenally effective tool to go against any sort of like left populist economic message, unfortunately.
Well, they can offload their shame, right? It's almost like when you can have another group of people that you can deem personally undesirable, or like they've made choices in a way that put them in that position. That makes your position elevated to them relatively, even if you are using the same benefits.
Yeah, it's the LBJ quote that comes to mind. It's just like if you can convince the lowest white man that he's still higher than the highest black man, that he'll empty out his pockets for you. He won't recognize that you're robbing him blind. Hell, he'll empty out his pockets for you. I mean, that's precisely what it is.
I mean, this is what in the wake of Reconstruction we also saw. It was like, we're going to, literacy tests, poll taxes were aimed at freedmen, but of course, also ended up punishing or disenfranchising poor white folks, but that was almost like a twofer. Like we can, that is a feature, not necessarily a bug. We should say this too. I want to get your reaction on this because I know that you got to apparently do a show eventually.
Yeah.
Are you aware of this? Let's do number 11. I just want to do this tear sheet. People should be aware of this because people are still going out to vote. If you have not voted, make sure you go out and vote. Here is another reason to perhaps vote for Mamdani.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you're aware of this.
Yeah.
But it is being reported in the New York Post that nearly 1 million New Yorkers, what's amazing is that the Post had the ability to send out, this is an incredible reportage feat. To find out that 1 million New Yorkers are ready. This is the quote. Put it back up there.
This is Millionaire Underground Railroad. They've already gotten this set in place.
There are literally dozens and dozens of private jets that are on the runway.
The skies are choked with them.
At Peterborough Airport, just waiting for someone to roll up in like SUVs in one of those Cadillac SUVs, and to drop people off. Nearly 1 million New Yorkers ready to flee New York City if Mamdani becomes mayor, possibly igniting largest exodus in history.
Isn't it beautiful? He's solving the housing issue.
100%.
Abundance.
You're about to get a brownstone for $1. It's nothing.
Exactly. And listen, you talk about free buses. You don't even you won't even. The buses are going to be so freaking fast. You're not going to believe it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Scroll up here. It's going to be so nice to walk on this. Hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers are prepared to bolt from the Big Apple if socialist candidate Zohran Mamdani wins on Tuesday, potentially setting the stage for the largest population flight in U.S. history. This is an alarming new poll. Around 765,000 of the 8.4 million residents who call New York City home preparing to leave, with 9% of New Yorkers sharing that they would definitely leave the city if Mamdani's elected.
And most of it's got to be Manhattan, I imagine, too, right?
Reported by the Daily Mail. Oh, okay. So the Post didn't do the reporting out on this. This was the Daily Mail doing the reporting.
Two of the best.
Oh, citing a survey, though.
By JL Partners. I wonder who JL Partners is. Why don't you Google them as you scroll down, Matt? Keep going down here.
It's
if those residents were to leave, it would be equal to the population of Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, or Seattle fleeing the city. Another 25% of New Yorkers, about 2.2, said they would consider packing up and leaving. Among high earners, 7% of those making over $250,000 a year said they would definitely flee. So the beauty of this is it's going to be distributed, it seems like, across different income levels.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't need a 15,000 square foot penthouse apartment or something like that. Maybe you just need something more modest.
Yeah.
Like an 800 square foot, 1 or 2 bedroom. And, or even like you could get a Curtis Lewa 350 square foot place for your cats.
17.
They're all going to be available all across the board.
Well, Curtis is not leaving. That's
Yeah.
for sure, because he's a real New Yorker. I do want to give a shout out to Rat King, Mike Isaac, from, I think he's still at the New York Times. Yeah, New York Times tech reporter, who said on Twitter, quote retweeting a New York Post headline, this time about how Zohran Mamdani's aloof wife, Rama Dawaji, quietly steered his campaign from behind the scenes.
Lady Macbeth.
Yeah, he quote retweeted it saying, as a Californian experiencing the Post Twitter coverage of this race over the past 6 months, it has been like watching a social media manager slowly descend into mania. And it's true. I feel like for the outsiders looking into this race, trying to make sense of it all, it's like every single one of these outlets and all of the people that are like in the tank for Cuomo, or just like, no one is really pro Cuomo, but like anti Mamdani, have become increasingly more manic as the election has neared and the polls don't actually show any sort of swinging in the direction of Cuomo. One of my favorites is Deborah Messing, who has completely lost her mind.
I can't watch any more of those repeats of
Grace?
Will and Grace has been ruined for me.
Shout out to the show A Bit Fruity. I did actually with Matt Lieb and Matt Bernstein an episode on Deborah Messing that was, and liberal Zionism more broadly. People should check out that deep dive.
If you look at her Instagram stories right now,
Yep.
she has like 100.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
look.
she live in New York? I thought she lived
I don't
in
even know.
LA.
I don't know if
I
you
don't
know if she
know.
lives in New York, but she is very locked in on the race, and including like she posted something. It's so funny that like a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I'm a liberal Zionist, I'm a progressive," are like straightforward, bringing up like Kahanist points now. Like they are just like followers of Meir Kahan. Like they're literally like, no, it's actually the Goyim cattle don't understand. Like
they have no idea what they're
Yeah, they don't know what's going on. It's like, I thought you were a progressive Hollywood person. This is what I was looking at.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
sending
love
it
that
here.
one.
So first of all, look at the amount of dots. Matt Bernstein pointed this out. It's like a sign of a manic episode. If you're posting that many Instagram stories, that it literally almost looks like
It's like a book in
Oh, she posted me too.
yeah,
Let's
she posted
go.
you 22 hours ago.
There you are.
almost a
Oh, that was the
solid
ad we
line.
played.
Yeah.
Is this like an ongoing, like, I don't know. To be honest, like I have never been able to figure out Instagram. So what does that mean? Like
That means
these are all
posted-
adding to her story?
She has
Every
like
dot is an
100.
individual story.
For folks who can't see it, it looks like Morse code version
Yes.
of Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the most insane thing I've ever seen. So it's all just about like Mamdani and whatnot. But the best one is when she goes to the in Judaism and Christianity post.
I'll read
I
it here.
fucking love that.
I'll
one.
read it here because
That's amazing. There's nobody
may not
could
be able to
ever.
find it.
You would literally like Deborah Messing's mom wouldn't read all that stuff.
Put this up. I mean, we just got to just see these.
Oh, is
sheer-
this not scroll? Yeah, this is insane.
Well, he switched back. But I'll read this post that Hasan's referencing. In Judaism and Christianity, we are commanded to speak the truth. In Islam, they are commanded to lie if it means spreading Islam. Do not disregard this fundamental ideological difference. Now take a look at Mamdani, apply that basic rule, listen to his words, then watch his actions. He's revealing their goal, mass conversion. These two opposing civilizations cannot coexist.
Wait, so are we becoming Muslim or are we becoming trans?
It's both.
It's the worst kind. Yeah, it's like woke. It's
Wait,
woke
I
Sharia.
thought the Muslims would throw the trans off the roof. So it's all that's what they mean. It's like a suicide pact.
Well, he's Shia, so like it's like Iran. It's everybody's trans.
This is nuts. Like, who
I mean,
thinks
literally.
that anybody could watch this?
It's a manic episode. I mean,
Yeah.
driven by Zionism, which is also a mental disease.
But to be fair, I mean, there's two types of people who are freaking out about this, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's people like Deborah Messing, and then there's also sort of like billionaires who are concerned because they know. I mean, this is what's sort of fascinating about this is that you hear all of these arguments that like, okay, this is New York. It doesn't work for the rest of the country, but they're addressing it in a way that they know they're afraid that it's going to work for the rest of the country.
Yeah.
I mean, you never saw this level of panic when they were putting up, I can't remember what her name was for the last Maine race, and you never heard this level of panic when Claire McCaskill was running again and losing her seat in Missouri. I mean, this is, you never, they said Eric Adams was going to be the model for Democrats. And I mean,
yeah,
he's in.
That's what Ezra Klein wrote, I believe.
No, but
right?
that's
was
the
it?
thing.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Ezra?
Iglesias
Silver.
and Nate
Iglesias.
Silver.
Sorry.
But that's what it is. It's like you can have a loser, but as long as they've like eked out a marginal victory, or they've done it with the third way neoliberalism, like the centrist method, then that's fine. It's fine if you lose, even if you lose as a centrist. It's zealotry. I feel like it's ideological zealotry. It sounds silly to say because you're like, well, centrism is just like an inability to arrive at any sort of like consistent ideological position. But like they have almost this zealot style, this defense of centrism.
Mm-hmm.
But
they're the radical centrists.
It is not, I mean, but that's what they say. But I think the greatest trick the centrist ever played was to pretend there was no ideology.
Yeah.
Because in fact,
of course,
there is an ideology, and it is a limited one in the sense that it really is just about how we redistribute wealth. Like, because every single society redistributes wealth. Every single one.
Yeah.
Every single one. There is no such thing as a government that does not redistribute. The question is, which way does the redistribution flow? And there is, I think, an intense fear that the spigot where the benefits of government existing begin to get distributed more widely within this country.
Yeah.
And because a lot of people have gotten wealthy because of it, and they are living their best lives, and they see that this is a problem for them to live their best lives.
But that's
if
why
other people are living slightly better lives.
They're anti-politics. If the Republicans are anti-democracy, it's like the radical centrists are anti-politics because they want to maintain the status quo, and that's what their zealotry is kind of centered around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's stop let's freeze things right now as they are because I'm already ahead.
Yeah.
But at a time when liberalism is broadly failing in Western liberal capitalist democracies, that is the reason why you're seeing this resurgence of fascist movements, and many of which are obviously
there's a vacuum.
They're obviously forced to identify themselves as like something different because we live in a post-World War II universe where like fascism can't be seen as like a revolutionary movement or a new movement, right? As it was initially when it was incepted. But in the United States of America in particular, it's actually very interesting that like we have two liberal parties, like liberal as in,
market,
the actual political terminology. We have a center-right liberal party in the Democratic Party, and we have a far-right liberal party in the Republican Party, and the far-right liberal party is now moving into a post-liberal version of itself.
Yep.
And it's actually restructuring itself to be a fascist party without openly saying that they're fascist. And the centrist, center-right liberalism is never going to be able to oppose this right-wing populist growth. They're never going to be able to successfully oppose it. And the sooner I think the Democratic establishment wakes up to that reality and realizes that do you want to oppose fascism, or do you think that you will actually be a servant of fascism and you'll maintain your symbolic position of power, the faster we can try to genuinely build a successful movement against this.
I don't think that they wake up to it. I don't think that's the way it works. I mean, I think there are some who realize like they have to be more partisan, but for the most part, I think we are not in the idea of persuading and winning over folks in the Democratic establishment. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
How it works is we keep building power amongst both in an electoral perspective, but also outside of electoral politics. But in simultaneously, I subscribe to the notion that both can be done simultaneously, so that this is they don't have to be convinced of anything.
Yeah,
they just lose.
They just need to leave. Yeah,
They
no,
just
for
lose.
sure.
And
I think the base is more open-minded to that than ever before, and you can make that electability argument that they've been conditioned and they've been primed into believing.
That's the big change.
With a left populist message, and I think that that's what we need to continue pushing. I know a lot of people, some people fancy me to be far too radical, and others say that I'm a sheepdog for the Democratic Party, but like the reality of the matter is I obviously have a larger ambition to restructure American society in a way that benefits all workers, right? And I think that the road to achieve that does move from within the Democratic Party, at least in the interim, to at least build class consciousness and build the networks that you were suggesting that are an absolute necessity to create points like structures of pressure against all people in positions of power, and certainly the Democrats.
I think you use the institutions that you feel like you can use at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of tools. Sitting
Exhaust all options.
Exactly. And because there is virtually no evidence that a third party, at least on a national level, has the ability now or the strength to do anything in that regard.
This is the weakest the Democratic Party has ever been.
Yep.
If there was a viability for a third party alternative at this stage, I think that that would exist. And a lot of people say like, oh, it's people like yourself and myself that like actually shut off that viability. When in fact, like I don't have any interest in like pushing aside people who are viable independent candidates or viable third party alternatives. I'm just simply saying that exhausting the election machine the turnout machine that the Democrats already have in favor of socialist candidates, at least in the interim, is
It's what
I think going to
Zoran's
be
doing.
more successful. Yeah, and it's what Bernie Sanders did as well, regardless of the disagreements that we may have, like the political disagreements that we may have with any of these candidates. I think ultimately they are able to expand the conversation and expand people's vision for what a alternative exists within the actual true left flank of American politics.
I will also say that, with all due respect to you and with all due respect to us, that we're not capable. It is not like what we're capable of doing is seeing a car that is like maybe on a slight incline and it's in neutral, and we can start to join other people and help pushing it so that it gets on a roll.
Yeah.
But we don't have the ability to stop a car that is rolling in any way. We don't have the ability to build a car. Like if the obstacle to a viable third party is 1, 2, 10 streamers, 20 streamers, I have
not
news
real.
for you.
Yeah, no.
It is not a viable party.
And this isn't to say that there will never come a point when there isn't like a true workers' party in this country. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just simply stating that in order for people to even get there, they have to identify. They have to self-identify as workers, self-identify as working class individuals, and recognize their class position, which unfortunately they're utterly devoid of at this point. And they are sometimes even antagonistic towards class politics because they've been conditioned into thinking that that's like, scary socialism, Marxism, or whatnot.
I am of the mind, and maybe this is for another day, that the biggest movements happen when there is where you actually sort of get to peek over the other side of the wall and get a notion of what things could be. And the ways in which you get to peek over that other side of the wall is very often when you're not afraid where there is actually, like, to belabor this metaphor, there's a ladder. Or there's scaffolding, and you're not afraid of somebody coming and undercutting that scaffolding. You know, we had the biggest sort of like emancipation movements in the country during an era where people were economically had a little bit more sort of like economic security during, you know, the Great Compression. Going forward, the ability to have something like, you know, Medicare for all, where you're not afraid, where the fear associated with protest or organizing or whatnot is not, are my kids going to have health care? I think will make a big difference. But
I agree.
We'll see. How are you for time?
I got to
He has to run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's why I'm squirming.
No, it's all good.
I could tell Emma was getting like.
I am you. It's fine.
I didn't see it.
He's passionate. He's too
I
invested
understand.
in the discourse.
I understand.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I think it's good.
I told her we had
It's a
that.
sound drop.
Yeah.
Okay. No. All right. Well, have fun tonight.
Yeah. Maybe I'll see you guys
Yes,
later.
they will run it.
Even if we don't broadcast there, maybe I'll just dip in for a little.
All right,
say
perfect.
hi.
Well,
Maybe.
thank you guys for having me on,
Emma's already
in spite of the
like,
danger
start
that
drinking.
I present. But I will be drinking, I think.
Yes.
This is like, I've talked about this on another podcast that is not going to be released yet with Joe Marco, but like, I've been holding on to this campaign like just a modicum of hope. Just like a little, everything else is so shitty where I'm just like, please, please, we have to pull through. Like something, just a crumb for working class politics in this country, please.
I think it gives, if he wins, I think what it does, aside from the material differences it's going to make in the lives of New Yorkers, which we will remain, you know, we'll see. Hopefully he's able to do it, but it gives, it gives scaffolding for other attempts around the country. All right,
absolutely. But thank you so much for having me on, guys.
Always a pleasure.
All right.
All right.
All right, let's get to the real stuff. That being, of course, Joe Rogan and Elon Musk. We're going to do some political analysis. What we need to do. What's that?
You're just saying turn down his mic.
Yeah, I mean, I think like
I got it.
We got it. Hey, have a
It's all
little
in
faith
hand.
in Matt. It's not his first rodeo.
I would have needed that prompt. So
Yeah. Well, all right.
Some of us have been around here for 10 years. so.
Wait, when was your anniversary? Is that like?
Actually, shit.
You don't know when
No,
it
it was
was.
like in the last couple
I
of
think
weeks.
it's longer
Was
than
it?
10 years.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, we missed
October.
Oh, it's been actually 10 years?
Yeah, 2015 October, I think.
Wow.
Jesus.
I'm back.
Uday and Kusei Lutnick says, please stop fighting, guys. We don't like that.
I'm sorry. I just have intense anxiety about being impolite.
Who is impolite?
Well, just keeping people over their I understand. I understand.
We were being welcoming.
I'm not saying we were being impolite. I'm saying that I have anxiety about it ever becoming impolite. Anyway,
he can get up and leave whenever he wanted.
Yes.
We're not holding him hostage.
He was doing us big numbers, all right? We hold on to that.
All right. All right. Let's get to honestly. We can't let this lie too much. What happens when two people, one of whom is the richest human being on earth, the other is who
the last of the true comedians.
is the last of the true comedians, and they are put in the same room with each other and have only ideas and also some form of intoxicants. They're both so high out of their heads right now. Honestly, it's like it is. I've encountered this, but not since like
college dorm room,
sophomore year
Yeah.
of college, where you see like two people who are so convinced that they have figured out the world and are also so high.
The reason you have the standoff is because if the
pause it. I should say when they're talking about the government shutdown. Go ahead.
The standoff is because if the hundreds of billions of dollars to create a financial incentive to have this giant magnet to attract illegals from every part of Earth to
every part of Earth
to these states, if that is turned off, the illegals will leave because they're no longer being paid to come to the United States and stay here.
Wow.
And then they will lose.
I'll pause it for a
voters.
second. I just want to say, like, there's
Party.
not even. What's fascinating about this is like, not even the Republicans are making the claim that they're attempting to cut off funding for so-called illegals. I mean, you hear some attempt to say that like SNAP is riddled with fraud and it's a bunch of undocumented immigrants, which incidentally is not the case. They don't have eligibility for SNAP, and SNAP is incredibly not fraud-ridden. But the idea that immigrants, broadly speaking, and he's literally the one who's talking is an immigrant.
He is one, and he overstayed a student visa.
Right.
That they come here for the meager SNAP benefits of an average of $187 a month.
The magnet.
It's like, whereas like, there are countries all over the world with much better social welfare programs. like, why would you come here if that's what you're looking for?
Rogan is saying whoa because he thinks there's an actual magnet like that Wile E. Coyote would use.
Wait, so like a people magnet?
Okay, wow, that is
Where's
blowing
that,
my
Berkeley?
mind.
Where is it?
Holy cow. All right, but let's go back. What's amazing, though, is like you don't even hear this claim from Republicans. Like, this is made up whole cloth by Elon.
Whole ketamine.
South Africa.
Whole, exactly.
To these states, if that is turned off, the illegals will leave because they're no longer being paid to come to the United States and stay here.
Wow.
And then they will lose a lot of voters. The Democratic Party will lose a lot of voters.
And they would have a very difficult job if this is kicked out of reintroducing it into a new bill.
Yes.
What?
Especially once things start normalizing.
Yes. So, like, in a nutshell.
What are they saying? What is going to get kicked out?
I think so, normalizing.
First of all, I think the only material ask that the Democrats are asking, right, aside from like a process thing of like, hey, don't keep breaking laws like you are with the SNAP benefits and pretending like there's no money there. The only material ask they're saying, maintain the enhancement of the ACA exchanges. In other words, the subsidies to private insurance that we're doing through the ACA.
Which, if you're not documented, you are not eligible for.
Which, if you're not documented, you're not eligible for. And also, these subsidies go to people who are, like, the big chunk of this is going to people who are on, and remember, the ACA is only for people who don't get their health insurance through work.
Yep.
And when you're talking about these subsidies, they are for people who, and families who are making anywhere from like, the big bulk of it is through like $40,000 to $150,000 a year in terms of the size of the family. So like the idea that these people are here and they're coming for ACA subsidies. They have jobs.
Yep.
They're making money. It's just that they want expensive private health insurance that is subsidized. Very
that they still have to pay for.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. As opposed to like, let's go to a country where they have, I don't know, subsidize healthcare like it's actually we pay $20 copay instead of like a $6,000 deductible.
This flattering, where people say the only reason there's an immigration across the world is because of how great America is, and not say what our foreign policy has done to a lot of these countries that people end up having to flee, whether it's Venezuela or across their oil economy, for instance, or across Central America, is a crucial component of American propaganda.
In a nutshell, the Democratic Party wants to destroy democracy by importing voters, and the Republican Party disagrees with that.
And the ruse is that if you don't accept what they're doing, then you're a threat to democracy.
Yes.
As they try to destroy democracy.
Yes.
By importing voters.
That is
and
literally what they're doing.
People to only vote for them, and overwhelming the system.
Yes. And by the way, it's a strategy that, if allowed to work, would work. And in fact, has worked. California is supermajority Democrat.
Yeah.
And there's so much gerrymandering that occurs. It's crazy.
Pause it for a second. Okay.
The reason
first of all, he's lying about the gerrymandering. The gerrymandering we know has been predominantly in Republican areas. You see it in Wisconsin. You see it in North Carolina. Hopefully, Proposition 50, like in the blue states, they have to pass legislation not to have a vote in the legislature, but they have to literally have a referendum to change the way that they organize party, which is indicative of the fact that there's no gerrymandering there. But put that aside. This is like with Rogan sort of like piecing it together, like, oh, they're importing people to vote. Incidentally, probably the average person who's imported, it takes anywhere from like 10 to 15 years before they become citizens.
Yep.
And then in the vast majority, the vast majority don't. They're importing them. And in the meantime, the bait and switches, they're saying that the other side is against democracy. Oh, I get it now.
That's why they have to send the National Guard to all the cities.
Exactly.
Democracy.
Yeah.
Makes so much sense. Wow. Wait, but how big was the magnet again?
Oh, yeah.
This is a good example of why you don't need to credit Rogan when he occasionally has the brainwave of be like, we need to be less cruel to immigrants.
It's unbelievable. It's literally like he's his brain functions like one of those videos you've seen, like a video of like a plastic bag
floating through the wind.
Floating in the wind.
Yeah.
Basically what it's
called object permanence.
I was just about to say, what age did children get object permanence? Do we know? I mean, 3?
Like, no, it's in the months, like 16 to 24 months.
Well, I don't have a kid, so I don't know, but yeah.
I don't either.
Oh, that's why you play peekaboo.
This is from December of 2023 when Stavros was on, and Stav talked about his experience having an immigrant father and the voting thing. Here's Rogan.
12:55. Yeah. Did you see that video? There's a video that was going around today of people in Chicago that are furious that the government is giving so much money to all of these immigrants that have illegally migrated into Chicago.
No, I didn't see that.
They're giving them cell phone and $1,200 whatever. And these people,
They didn't illegally immigrate to Chicago. They sought asylum in Texas and were human trafficked by the Texas government up to Chicago.
People are fucking freaking out.
Yeah.
And, these people that were Democrats are like, hey, if Trump wants to talk to us, come talk to us. Like, we're tired of this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is wild to see. These people are waking up. Like, why are you giving people that aren't even from here all this money and a free phone and all this shit? You're not giving anything to us?
That is fucked. It's like,
fucked.
I think those people deserve, but it's like, we're seeing that's like, why aren't regular people getting that same shit? Why doesn't everybody just get that? Why is that person getting special treatment where it's like, we're just fucked? I mean, that's the safety net.
They shouldn't get it either. What they're doing is they're trying to buy votes. That's what I think they're doing. They're trying to get rid of voter ID, and they're trying to bring people in or allow people to get in and make it easy for them to travel all around the country. And if someone let you in the country, wouldn't you vote for them?
But they can't vote, can they?
Well, what if they can?
I mean,
but they're talking about not having voter ID.
What if we could all
Like, what do you
fly?
think that- They were talking about it in New York. They were going to try to make it so that if you weren't a citizen, you could still vote in New York.
Interesting.
That was something that was discussed, right?
I don't know.
No.
My dad
Google
can't
that thing
vote.
about New York.
I think it was discussed, but I don't know.
Attempts to have.
They Googled it, not happening.
I think there was like some municipalities that were
Municipal elections.
contemplating having legal residents, let's be clear, as opposed to a citizen, like people who maybe on a long-term work visa, vote in municipal elections. But again, this whole ID thing, if someone went to impersonate, let's say, Sam Seder, and to go to the polling place and vote, what happens when Sam Seder shows up? They go, you already voted. We thought you were that other swarthy looking guy, and so you don't get a vote. Okay, but how did that swarthy guy know who I was going to vote for? Like, it's a little redundant. What if we're both voting for the same person? So the whole plan with the undocumented is what they do is they go around, they go into a town, they interview all the potential voters. Who are you voting for?
Right.
They find out who is not voting for the Democrat, maybe voting for the Republican. Then they go out and impersonate that person. And then wait, because you have that problem. What happens when Brian shows up at the polling place and finds out that Brian already voted and may have even voted for a Democrat? You've got to distract Brian from going to the polling place,
And
right?
how do you do that?
There's all sorts of different things you could do.
Give him a phone to play with.
You can,
Yeah. One of the immigrant phones.
You teach them Wordle, and they get sucked down a wormhole, or they're playing some type of video game, and they like, oh, I missed the voting day,
Right.
Or you keep prank phone calling them, or you tell them like, oh, election day is tomorrow, it's not today.
Well, that's where the hypnosis comes in, because he's saying the great replacement theory without saying it, and he didn't get to the heart of it, which is that the Jews are the ones doing it. So, like, that's how you keep them distracted.
Yep.
With the
Learning so much.
the media hypnosis. Okay.
Wait, but is there two me? Really?
What?
Is there really two of me?
There could be three.
Whoa.
It could be other. They're going into.
Have you ever seen the multiverse in Marvel? Okay.
That's actually the only movie I've ever seen.
All right,
That's art to me.
Folks, I'm sorry about the phone calls. Let's take one phone call. Calling from a 308 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it is Kowalski calling from Brown County, Nebraska.
Dude, what do you got, a cold?
Very bad cold.
Oh,
no. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's fine. I've just been operating heavy machinery and drinking coughing syrup.
Nothing to worry about.
Sounds
there.
okay.
Yeah, I'm on an isolated ranch. Don't worry. So I'm actually calling in because we're staging an operation here in northern Nebraska for the Greater Nebraska movement. We want to reclaim our lost territories. And with the federal government being gone, I assume D.C. was wiped out. We're just going to push into the Dakotas and take it. We're going to do a blitz on Bismarck and take the oil fields. And I was curious which mayoral candidate in New York would be the best option to, give us moral support.
Well, I'm sure Mamdani would send more cough syrup because it sounds like that's what's fueling your revolution.
Wait, Nebraska's going to invade North Dakota? I wouldn't start that in November.
No. North Dakota is an artificial construct. All right, like it's all Nebraska and Minnesota.
Greater Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yes, this is part of the Greater Nebraska Project. And I know that Cuomo has a history of supporting like the State of Israel's project, so I feel like that would be his route. But then again, Curtis seems like the more militant guy. However, since Mamdani clearly wants to destroy the country, I would feel like he would support this as, this would be like a states' rights thing that would rip the republic apart. So I just need to know who's going to be best for the Greater Nebraska movement.
It's sort of a tough call.
See, that's the problem.
I don't support it
like,
either.
I need to know which horse that we are going to send 500,000 votes to, and you only have like an hour and a half.
Oh, polls don't close that quickly.
Yeah, polls don't close for another 6.5
but
hours.
You can catch a flight.
Oh, yeah.
We barely got our hands on enough planes to get these ballots there. Okay, there's still flight time.
Yeah, with the shutdown and TSA, it's a nightmare.
Well, that's the good part. Without the TSA really being there in force, we can basically get anything into accordion.
I really I don't know who to tell you to hitch your wagon to. I guess quite literally.
Huh. Well, that is unfortunate.
This is what happens when you mix farmer and cough syrup.
Look, this is where the greatest ideas happen. This is what we call synergy. These types of ideas were never meant to come together and form a synthesis. This is how we get
And that's a
growth.
good thing?
Nassau County
there's
spokesperson says Sliwa was shot 1,000 times. He's battle tested for the revolution.
I mean, that is true. I bet, you see, this would also work out well for you guys because if we need support, I know he would send us some NYPD, and then you guys would have less harassment on the subways.
Here's what I would suggest. Get a red beret and then post on Instagram.
That sounds like a fantastic plan. So, well, in all seriousness, I hope you all have a very good election tonight. We're all obviously rooting for Mamdani, or at least all God-fearing Americans are, because, you know, we don't like Italians. But I plan on putting out a video in a couple hours on Brown County, Nebraska, that I think your audience might enjoy. So, yeah, this was just a long-winded way for me to plug something for myself in a, you know, just like blatantly wasting your guys' time.
Well, folks, check it out. We'll be here tonight. Appreciate the call.
Have a good one.
All right, folks, that ends the call-in portion of our program. We've got to get going, I guess. We were only on show number 1 of the day. Let me read 5 IMs that we'll get out of here. Mark Monkey, dear MR, living in Michigan, I've never felt pride in voting for someone in a general election who I have had at most minor misgivings about. What does it feel like vote for someone like that? Bet it feels good.
You're in Michigan? They said?
Yeah.
I mean, Abdul Saeed, you got your chance.
Here's hoping this boosts Al-Saeed to win the
Yeah,
Democratic
there you
primary
go.
in this beautiful but stupid state. I do think it's going to help all sorts of candidates like this. I really do, if he wins. Todd from Raleigh, out of curiosity, I checked to see Cuomo's phone bank page. They only have 1 2-hour phone banking session today at 4 p.m. Meanwhile, Zoran
That's
is
so
having
late.
shifts all day.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Just got an email that they surpassed 3 million doors knocked on.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Did you see that the final day of early voting was more of a vote total than the final day of early voting in the presidential election last year in New York City?
Again, that doesn't surprise me because I always vote on election day, or typically, and I've never had to wait in line like I did today.
Wow. There you go.
We were wondering why you did that.
And they had full, I don't know, I just procrastinated.
The only time I ever saw lines like that was, well, I guess it was during COVID when I was covering the Jamal Bowman campaign. But the New York Democratic Party was also like purposefully trying to throttle, I think, polling locations in Bowman-friendly areas. But, you know, anyway, it's just a good reminder of like the part. Bowman and AOC and what they did in standing up to this Democratic Party machine is a huge reason to like why Zoran is able to run in this way, just because it's as corrupt as it gets, and Jay Jacobs has to go.
Lavender Allergy, even if it was possible to convince Democratic electeds they need to evolve in their politics, it's a waste of time we can't afford. The tires are bald. Put on new ones. All right.
Like, is that a metaphor about we should just fashion a third party out of thin air? Because I think it kind of has to be built through a dialectical process.
Jay Tingle, stovepiping. The current practice of Republican functionaries lying to and insulting Democratic legislators in congressional hearings originated with Cheney's second chief of staff, David Addington. Oh, God, that name rings bells. Saturn Girl. Hey, Sam, I forgot to wash my Majority Report mug out last night, and now it looks like Andrew Cuomo gave it a UTI, but my insurance company doesn't cover antibiotics anymore. Left is best. Thank you for that graphic image.
Yuck. Yeah, that was really gross.
Omega, all the panicky anti-Semitic wolf criers didn't say anything about Pete Hegseth Nazi's tats or Graham Plattner having a Nazi tat back then or Alon doing that gesture. Not one word, yet all the alarms about a brown guy running for office. Y'all notice that?
Yep.
Yes? Hillline Hobo. I forget that Dick was openly criminal and an immoral lizard without a heartbeat. He was off the public radar for a decade. All right, 2 more. Sexual Matador. Republicans have no problem imposing religious fundamentalist imperatives on LGBT issues via the government, but Jesus' imperative to feed the poor must be an individual responsibility. Exactly. And the final I am of the day, Sasha. It's a people's magnet. So if you pour a glass of water on it, it'll stop working, right? I don't get it.
Oh, no, it's a reference to Trump, who didn't know how magnets worked. Remember, he thought that they didn't stop working underwater.
boats?
It had to do with boats. Yeah.
Deep cut.
Matt, Brian, Emma, great job today. See you later. We'll be here at
We're
8
going to say 8
p.m.
right?
Yep.
8 p.m. Eastern.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It might take all the strength I got to get to where I want, but I know somehow I'm gonna get there. I wasn't looking when I just got caught between the truth and the light bar. But finding out won't make me feel any better. Yeah, I know the clock is ticking, but the meds are gonna kick in, and my pilot light shining bright. I guess somewhere the choice was made for the option where you don't get paid, for the road that bends before it finally breaks you. I guess somehow I lost my drive between the 101 and the 5. Do you know how far the detour takes you? Yeah, I know the clock is ticking, but the meds are gonna kick in, and my pilot light shining bright. The months drifted into years while I shifted in and